Oh, I don't know what that was. That looked...
Severe storms moved through southeast Michigan Saturday evening, amid reports of damaged houses and downed trees in parts. Much of the region is under a flood watch through the rest of Saturday. Severe storms that were forecasted to move through southeastern Oakland and southern Macomb counties between 6:20 p.m. and 6:40 p.m. prompted tornado warnings, which have since expired. Damaged homes, dozens of downed trees, and snapped large branches could be seen in Monroe County on Saturday afternoon after severe storms rolled through. Photos taken of the area obtained show at least 2 homes that appeared to be partially leveled. A severe storm warning was in effect when the system moved through Monroe County. Officials said a spin-up tornado was possible during the alert, though a twister has not yet been confirmed. I looked out the back slider door and it was like such strong winds and rain, you couldn't even see out. It looked like what you would see in hurricane videos, Jacob Ogle, a Monroe County homeowner, said. Ogle was home with his wife and kids when he said they felt the weather coming. We felt the pressure of the house shift inside, he said. Ogle added that power surges also happened right before the weather system came through. A family that lives across the street from Ogle had dozens of trees fall in their backyard, heavily damaging their car and new shed. The Whiteford Township Police Department said there have been no injuries as a result of the severe weather. A trampoline could be seen hanging from a power line in Monroe County following the Saturday afternoon storms. Safety officials in Buren Township, Michigan, in Wayne County, said Saturday evening that Haggerty Road between Alden Road and East Huron River Drive would be closed for an extended period of time due to downed power lines, and that crews with DTE Energy were working to resolve the issue. As of 10:49 p.m. Saturday, over 3,000 Southeast Michigan residents are without power, according to the company's outage map. Anyone who wishes to share photos or videos after a storm passes through can join CBS News Detroit's Weather Watcher network. Meanwhile, yards, streets, parking lots, businesses, and other properties flooded on April 4th, and Greater Lansing residents continued to cope with more rain, flood warnings, and forecasts for high waters throughout the day. It's pretty bad, said Andy Kilpatrick, Public Service Director for the City of Lansing. We're still assessing, but it definitely was a significant event. He started his day with more than 100 complaints about rainwater issues, and most of the city's pumps were consequently deployed to relieve pressures from the rain that fell overnight. Charles Semmerly, a Lansing Township restaurant owner, received a photo around 6 a.m. from an employee. It showed water in the back kitchen. They did their best to pump out the water at his Steakhouse Philly Bar and Grill, 3020 East Kalamazoo Street, near the Red Cedar development, but shut down for proper cleanup. He plans to open again on Monday, but remained upset with the storm drains that were put in a few years ago. It seems like if a torrential rain comes, they just can't keep up with it, whereas the old drains did, he said. Lansing Township Supervisor Maggie Sanders was not immediately available for comment, and flooding problems were clear throughout the region. Social media posts showed a flooded parking lot at the quarters off of Abbott Road in East Lansing, and the Potter Park Zoo closed because of flooding on Pennsylvania Avenue. More rain, thunderstorms, and flooding are likely for Ingham County, up until about 6 p.m. on April 4th, said Scott Thomas, a National Weather Service meteorologist. For the region, the Weather Service issued flood warnings in Ingham County for the Grand River in Lansing, Sycamore Creek in Delhi Township, and Red Cedar River in East Lansing, and in Clinton County, the Looking Glass River near Eagle Township. We're looking at, due to the heavy rainfall across the Lansing area, that those 4 rivers are forecast to go to minor flood stage within the next 24 to 30 hours, he said. They will likely stay up for generally about 1 to 3 days before we see rivers begin to fall. It might be closer to 3 for some of our more flood-prone like the Maple River in Maple Rapids or the Red Cedar in East Lansing, maybe around 3 or 4 days. Rain is expected to return the night of April 5th, and NWS said minor river flooding will persist into next week. Local flood warnings for Grand River in Lansing and Sycamore Creek in Delhi Township are in effect until Monday morning. The flood warning for the Red Cedar River in East Lansing is set to start April 5th and April 8th. Thomas said the NWS predicted the most serious weekend weather scenario for Lower Michigan could be 1 to 3 inches of rain falling on the Grand River Basin, and that's what we saw overnight for areas across Berry, Eaton, and Ingham counties and into southeast Michigan. Meanwhile, major routes have reopened in Bellville, but Mayor Teri Brenkus isn't breathing a sigh of relief just yet. Brenkus said she's very concerned about a resurgence in flooding even as waters continued to recede Saturday afternoon. The height of the Clear Fork Mohican River sat just under 10 feet as of 2:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon, according to a gauge in the vicinity of Main Street operated by the United States Geological Survey. But the National Weather Service said north-central Ohio could be in for more rain Saturday night. The agency has issued a flood warning in effect until 11 p.m. that covers portions of Ashland, Crawford, Knox, Marion, Morrow, and Richland counties. Brenkus said village crews were hard at work to get roads reopened Saturday and asked residents to stay alert for road closure signs once the rain resumes. It's so easy to drive into these high waters and not even know it when it's dark, she said. We encourage everybody to watch the signs. It's there for their safety. The Clear Fork Mohican swelled by more than 10 feet between Friday night and early Saturday morning, cresting at more than 13 feet around 4:15 a.m. Saturday morning. The basement of our feed mill is flooded, so production has stopped till nature says otherwise, said Donnie Clark, owner of LZ Milling and Trade. It's very frustrating. This used to happen once every 40 years. Now it's once a spring, minimum. We've talked to every state agency we can think of, and they all say same thing. Ask someone else. Brenkus said this year's flooding was especially pronounced, with water backing up out of storm drains. 3 people had to be rescued after attempting to drive through flooded streets. This is the highest it's gotten since I've been in office, she said. There was areas throughout the whole village where people's yards were flooding that normally don't have a problem. Brenkus said the village had a flood assessment done 3 or 4 years ago, and that village officials were essentially told nothing could be done. The only option presented was for the village to buy up the floodplain that houses several local businesses and homes, from Fred's Auto Repair and the Dairy Bell to the River Rock, Valley Nails, and LZ Milling and Trade, and tear it all down. That's the option they gave us. We're not willing to go that route. That's an important part of the village, Brenkus said. Every business there is very valued, along with all those houses. Brenkus said regulations around water pollution and conservation mean dredging the river is likely not an option. You can't really put any equipment in a river now, she said. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, cleanup continued nearly 24 hours after a destructive storm tore through a southwest Oklahoma City neighborhood Friday night, leaving a trail of damage and knocking out power. The damage was caused by a radar-indicated tornado that moved through the area, including along Southwest 82nd Street. Residents described seeing what appeared to be a tornado, and then watching the neighborhood go dark as power lines were hit. Derek Gibson, who took shelter with his 15-year-old daughter because they do not have a storm shelter, said they looked west and saw what appeared to be a tornado before the power began flashing. We looked to the west, and you could clearly see a tornado, or what looked like a tornado at least, and almost instantly you see all kinds of power flashes, bright green power flashes everywhere, Gibson said. He said the storm intensified quickly. Within a minute or two, it was right in our face, and a huge explosion, and there was sparks everywhere, Gibson said. Sophia Isuli said she and her sister were sleeping when their dog woke them up, prompting them to run to a closet as the storm hit. When the tornado came, the house started shaking, Isuli said.
Oh my God, okay.
She said the moments leading up to the storm were chaotic.
Okay.
So I was like, go get the dog because he's barking. And when she was going to bring the dog, that's when everything happened. That's when the tornado came, and it was all messed up, Isuli said. It was super scary. Isuli said their above-ground pool is gone. In the neighborhood, residents reported widespread damage, including blown-down fences, blown-out windows, and debris. A trampoline was left stuck in the power lines on a telephone pole. One man remodeling a home off Southwest 81st Street for his parents said his truck had been parked near a fence in a north-south direction, but was tossed more than 50 feet and ended up facing west. Brothers Nate Alderson and Robert Anderson, who live on Southwest 81st near Country Club Drive, said they took shelter in a closet when they heard the tornado siren. They said the power shut off and the roof started leaking. It was like crazy and stuff, and his window broke, and it's hectic. This weather's so crazy. I was freaking out. Like, what's going on? They said. 15 hours later, the neighborhood looked significantly different, with debris cleared and repairs underway. Crews worked to install new poles and power lines, and residents helped one another with cleanup and rebuilding. Power had been restored, and some homes had windows replaced. Robert Anderson said the experience changed his perspective. It was scary and frightening, but we are safe, and that's all that matters, he said. The brothers also credited their faith as they assessed the damage. Now, our house is still safe because GC's has our back no matter what, they said.